What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a fun unboxing for you. This is the bargain bin haul from Tackle Warehouse. This was a promo that Tackle Warehouse was running in the month of October. If you missed it, I'm sorry that you did. There are some bangers in this box. So I'm really excited to go through these baits with you and let you know what we got and what we got it for, because a lot of these are massively discounted. And what I would suggest for you is always pay attention to sites like Omnia and Tackle Warehouse, because oftentimes they'll run these sales or do the bargain bin events or do a clearance sale where they're clearing out their warehouse with perfectly good baits from premium brands that you can get for 50% off or more sometimes. It's pretty crazy. Another pro shopping tip I want to throw at you guys. On Tackle Warehouse, they often will have freebie throw-ins. So if you spend a certain amount of money or if you buy certain products, they're going to throw you things like free t-shirts. Who doesn't love a free t-shirt? Rod covers, reel covers, decals, etc. They got all sorts of stuff. So you might as well grab it. You're already spending the money. Just get your free stuff. So I picked up a TW shirt. I don't think I have one, so now I do. I'm pretty stoked to wear that. I can always use a good fishing shirt. And then the other thing I picked up, Velcro rod holders. So this will just hold a bunch of rods together. I could definitely find a use for this. I think when you go on a trip, it's always nice if you got that bundle of rods. I don't know about you guys, but we'll throw them in the back of the truck, throw them in the kayaks, throw them in the passenger seat, you know, wherever they fit, but they're all kind of just jumbled up, and you can use this to tie them together. Oh yeah, here was my other throw-in, the giant fishbone decal. I just thought that was sweet. So yeah, throw it on your truck, throw it on your boat, whatever you want to do. But those are all the freebies. Now we get into the baits. Check this out. There's a lot in here. There is one full price bait in here that was $60. But other than that, everything else was on a discount, and it came out to a total of $201, less than 60. We're talking around 140 bucks in just purely bargain bin excellence. Typically, if you go on TW, you end up with like some crazy colors that you have to pick. Those are the only ones on clearance. They actually had a lot of like great colorways in here and a lot of great lures from great brands like Yamamoto. So let's go through them. I guess I'll start with the Yamis since they're up top here. So from Yamamoto, one of our favorites of all time, the Yamatanuki. These things are fantastic. So normally Yamamoto baits, you're getting a bag of these for like $7, $8. These were $3. And again, good colors. We got heavy tilapia magic, which is great all around. I'll probably be using these today. And then we've got our personal favorite, the sexy shad. Straight up a fish catcher. This is probably my go-to color with these baits. And then just to vary it up, we got a couple other Yamamoto baits. One a Daiwa bait as well. That one I'm excited for. Actually, Paul has those, so we'll get to that in a second. But one I haven't tried is the Nuki bug. So much like I love the Yamatanuki, I'm sure I'll love this. This adds a little more of a creature profile to it. Check it out. So it's still heavy weighted. It's that gravity style bait. So you got sort of the base of the Yamatanuki, but now you have claws, and the claws have those huge flanges that Yamamoto loves to add to their craw style baits. So those are pretty sweet. And these came in a baby bass color. Pretty good color right now. And this is something where I'll probably go Texas rig this today. Because it's a gravity bait, it's got a good sink rate, so you don't really need to add much weight to this, if any weight at all. Another great option, and one of our favorite colors on the channel here, we've got the Daiwa Gary Yamamoto combo. This one is the Nico Macho. Nico Macho. Paul has a smaller version of this. Look at this freaking thing. And this comes in a copper truce colorway. So we got chartreuse belly, and then it's a green pumpkin with copper flake and black flake up top. This is a killer color combo for the Midwest. Honestly, our go-to with any bait, whether it's Z-Man or other brands. If I can find this color, I'm typically gonna grab that and I'm gonna throw it and have a good time. So this is sort of a giant Ned or Nico style bait. So I might go ahead and Nico rig this today because it's fall bass fishing right now. We're getting pretty late into fall. I've probably in Michigan, I've got a couple more weeks of fishing time left, but that is a good style of fishing right now where you can kind of drag that along the bottom. You can pause it for long periods of time. It still has action. That heavy tail is going to be moving a bit in the current, and fish will key in on that. So I'm pretty excited to use it. So that Nuki bug came in at $3. Again, giving you a good amount of savings off of standard Yamamoto prices. Oh, the Nico Macho was only $3 too. There's like 10 in here. 10 is the count. The Nuki bug has the least amount, but the Yamatanukis are an 8 count. And that Nuki bug is a 6 count. So pretty good quantity of lures for not a lot of money. I don't know about y'all, but I love saving money whenever I can. Next up, we got some Z-Man that came in at a discount as well. I wanted to grab some razor shads in a different color that I hadn't used in this style of bait at least. But I've loved this color. They're bluegill color. It's kind of weird, kind of funky. It's got like this blue shimmer to it. And then the copper flake is really where it's at. But the razor shads are not only a great trailer, but also a great option if you want to just use them as a swim bait. But most of all, I'll be throwing these on chatterbaits. Just a good way to change things up. Love that. Nice bulky bait, but then it's got a jointed body, so it's got a lot of action to it. Then we got the Billy Goat, which, if you guys don't know, is actually a great soft plastic topwater bait. Not only could I throw this as a Magnum chatterbait trailer, but I can also just run it on top, which is what I'm actually going to try today when I go fishing. You got your Z-Man Elastec, and then the Billy Goat's got a really heavy duty flange here off the back. And this acts sort of like a topwater frog really well. Also, fantastic buzzbait trailer. So buzzbait, chatterbait, weightless on top. Lots of great options for this. We did grab this in a funky color, hot craw. I just wanted to do something a little bit different with that. And then last up, we got something I've been playing around with and I want to continue to get better at, but the drop kickers. Not only a great drop shot bait, but also a finesse trailer that you guys could try out. But this one comes in with a 5 count, 3.5 inches, and we got it in the copper truce. Got a couple of different colors of this. I've been throwing it on drop shot. Got a few catches, but again, it's something I need to dial in, so I want to keep practicing with it and go with a confidence color so I feel good about it. So we got the good standard options here, the razor shads and the drop kickers, which is a new bait, by the way, so it's nice to see it on sale. These were $3 each, and then for $2, we got the Billy Goats, which is a really nice discount on that one. We're still cruising. There's a lot more baits to go. So we've got a couple here from Strike King, and these ones are newer. Actually, I think these came out this year. Now it says try with FFS, but of course you don't need to do that. But this is the homing minnow and the pinger minnow. Just a nice pre-rigged paddle tail style bait, something definitely worth giving a try. And then with the pinger minnow, you get that little clubbed tail. I don't even know what you would call that. I'm sure it's described in the back here. It's not, but it says scan to learn more. But it's a unique tail, similar also to like the mooch minnow, if you're familiar with Crush City baits. So something, again, worth giving a shot. Not a style of bait that I fish a lot, but something that I want to try. And that's something that we love doing on this channel. By the way, if you like finding new baits, finding new confidence baits maybe, and seeing how they perform on the water, that's something that we do here on the channel. So make sure you subscribe and you can see that in later videos. I'm gonna be fishing these today. Another confidence bait I love, and I had to pick up some extras here, was the Z2. So this is a Z-Man Strike King collaboration, if you will. And this provides you with like the perfect fluke. Z-Man Elastec. These ones are extra salty and they perform a little different than the standard Z-Man flukes. I love the scented jerk shads. This is a great alternative to that. So one of my favorites. And finally, another newer bait, the I almost said Jackal Riser. I wonder why. But this is a Strike King Evader, which is essentially the Jackal Riser. I wanted to see if this lived up to the hype at all, just being basically a more affordable version of the Jackal Riser. And what you get with this is a hard body bait with a metal lip. It looks just like that. So this lure is designed to be fished erratically on top. Strike King's got some good videos, close-ups of this on how that looks. So I'm interested just to take it out there and see for myself how it goes. Also, the Jackal Riser was able to be tuned. So the part of the reason they went with the metal lip was that you could fold that up a little bit so you can give it a slightly different action. And maybe that's something I try with this as well. We'll see. Everything but the Evader was $3 there. So normally I think these are $9. So getting those for $3, quite a deal. Z2s also not cheap. Getting those for $3 is nice. And then getting a pretty dang new bait in a standard color here, like a sexy shad. That was $5. So not bad for a hard bait, especially a newer one. Picked up some terminal and some jigs for some pretty good deals here. We've got a Raid Japan that I've been wanting to try for a while, just never picked it up. But you got an underspin swim jig here, which could be a great option in the fall, especially in this white colorway. So weight comes in at 10 grams, and this is the full swing They've listed it as 4 to 5 inches, but they look like 4-inch baits. I don't know what they mean by 4 to 5. The Head Swimmer Libero is what it's called. But yeah, pretty freaking neat. It's got a weed guard and everything. Definitely going to try that out today. I think that'll be perfect. Speaking of underspins, got another one here that I've wanted to try. This is the Axle from 6 Cents. And the Axle is kind of nice because you got this screw lock there. So that means you can make this weedless with that wide gap hook. And then you've got your underspin right there. And also it's called the Axle because there's a little bit of a hinge under the jig head there. So it allows that bait to move a little bit more than it normally would. Another option I grabbed was actually a line through version of that. So there's a screw lock on here, screw on your paddle tail, and then you run your line through the top and attach a smaller treble hook. So these are the 5/16 ounce, and this is the treble underspin head. Those are gonna be perfect this time of year. I think that's gonna work for sure. Another piece of terminal I grabbed that I wanted to try and have wanted to try for a long time is the Demiki rig heads. So we got the Demiki rig jig heads. Say that 10 times fast. Grabbed them in white. Look at the eye color on that. They're freaking nuts. So essentially what this is gonna allow me to do is have this bait more well balanced. So your soft plastic, which we also picked up. This is the Armor Shad in a 2-tone color. I think I went with a pretty standard gizzard shad. So I mean, that should be for sure good. It's actually got a little copper flake in there. Look at that. That's awesome. So it's designed mostly for these, but I mean, you could rig something else on there. So the way it is designed, kind of like a sled here, it brings more of the weight to the center point, allowing you to balance this out so your bait is level. The other thing this will do is when you drop that line in, your bait's gonna have this circular fall pattern, similar to one of our other favorite baits that we learned about up in British Columbia, and that's our hookup baits. We've unboxed this recently as well. I've been fishing around with this a bit, but it's a balanced bait that's gonna sit level in the water and have that circular fall action. We've also talked about that with Great Lakes Finesse, so it's certainly a good option, and a lot more companies are starting to pick that up. And yeah, I'm excited to try this out. This little combo right here should catch us a lot of fish. One more piece of terminal that I've wanted to try, and that is the Ryugi Hover Shot. Ryugi makes really good finesse terminal tackle. So if you're ever looking for those really finessey hooks, these are the guys. This is where I go typically. The Hobbit hooks are fantastic for BFS Texas rigs with very small plastics. So the Hover Shot designed for hover strolling, and it's a very thin wire hook. I think we got a size 3 on this, and you just run that hook through the top of that bait, and you can stroll it by bringing it in nice and slow, vary up your retrieve a little bit. You can hop it kind of like a minnow. There's a lot of different ways to approach it, but just wanted to try these out because I really like the unique design to these hooks. You can see where it comes up in that position there, allowing you to rig this through the top of the bait. It's also got this little finessey bait keeper right down there that won't destroy your baits, but will help keep that hook in place. So Ryugi, not cheap hooks, but I got these for $2. The Demiki jigs came in at $2 as well. The Armor Shads came in at $3. The Ray Japan jig heads, this was one of the least discounted baits, but I think it was still like $5 off. These came in at $10. This one, again, a discount, but not a huge one, but that came in at $3 for that Axle underspin. And then the treble underspins, getting 2 of these here. That was a decent deal, although you don't get the trebles, which I should have called out a second ago. So you gotta have your own trebles. But these came in at $2, basically $1 per jig head. We're getting down there. There's still a lot more baits to go. This one right here, I was very surprised, was on sale. But this is the Jackal Deracoup. And the Deracoup is one of my favorite tailspins of all time. Nice compact size, pretty premium hardware, and just fishes great. This is definitely a go-to, especially in this holographic bluegill color. This works really well up here in the Midwest. We've got another tailspin. I got a bunch. It's fall. These are perfect in the Midwest. But another one I haven't tried before. This is the Shimano BT Spin. And this has, as it calls out on the back, a wobbling tailspin design. Because of this like lipless bait design that they have there and your little blade spinning off the back, this should have more of a wobbling action. Shimano makes high quality baits. I'm excited to try it out. Here's another premium option for tailspins. You got the Molochs as well. These are also great. Probably my second favorite. So it's like Jackal Deracoup. I love this one. Savage Gear makes a really good budget option. And then I'm gonna try the Shimano one, but those are kind of my go-to tailspins. So these 2 lures came in at a premium price point, even on sale, $10. I think they're normally $15 to $18. And then the Molochs Trago this was the deal. This is $5. And in that gold colorway, it's gonna be really good for overcast, like low light conditions in the fall. So if you wanted to save a bunch more money, that's kind of the way to go. We've got 2 spinner baits here, one of which is the Shimano. This might be the best deal, I think, that we had on the site. I'll let you know in a second. I believe it was 75% off. This is a Swaggy Strong TW spinner bait. These are normally around $15 to $18, depending on which one you get. And I believe, I'll double check in a second, I got it for $5. So $5 spinnerbait, kind of a win across the board, especially when it's a premium quality one. Less premium, but also super cheap. I was able to pick up the Tackle HD spinnerbait. I haven't used any of the Tackle HD spinnerbaits, so this is gonna be an experiment, if you will. Definitely designed to be more of a budget-friendly spinnerbait. Let's see what it looks like. So this spinnerbait was actually just $2. So I think that's a win. It's gonna have more of the budget skirt going on there. It's just like a plug style skirt. And basic wire, basic blades on here, but I guarantee it catches fish. It's a spinnerbait. It's fall. It's gonna work. So $2 for that, and I lied. I got the Shimano for $3. So $3 for what is normally like a $15 spinnerbait, and it's not a crazy color. This is like a good go-to colorway. We got white, we got chartreuse, a little shad pattern to it. How are you gonna be mad at that? You're not. I feel like the packaging costs more than $3. Comes with a whole instruction packet. What the hey? Look at that. Wire-tied skirt. Premium wire, definitely a good quality feel to the spinnerbait. And look at that hook. Look at that. Look at that. You even got the spacers up here for your blades, and pretty dang high quality willow blade right there too. Neat. I lied again. There's actually 5 more baits left still. So, and the box is finally empty. Good grief. Okay, let's hit 2 plastics, and then I got some swim baits for y'all. This one right here, this is a Spro Ned Rig style bait with their Dura Tough. So it should be pretty stretchy, I'm guessing. I haven't opened this yet, but floating style. It's the Sakura 3.5 inch Dura Tough. Look at that. And of course, we went with the stock standard, the copper truce, because if I test different Ned rigs, I want to go with the confidence color, something that I have faith in. I'm going to try this one. I believe this was $1. I could be wrong. That was $1 hair. That's it. Then we got the Jackal Drift Fry 4.0. Now, I have had the Mellow in a much larger size, and I haven't caught on this thing yet. But I figured if I downsize, go more confident style with a hover strolling technique, I'm probably gonna get bit, especially if I'm using this color, which is the Ghost Wakasagi. Wakasagi is just a really good color in any of your JDM style baits. It's got a hints of purple and some flash to it. He's got a decent amount of plush. You got the soft lip at the front, so it dives a little bit, and is also gonna cause this rolling action when you rig this up the right way. Then you get the little tail coming off the back. Been wanting to pick these up for a long time. Glad I finally did. Been wanting to try this as well. This is the Agent E from Berkeley. So the power bait Agent E should have a delicious scent to it. We'll find out. These are the 3-inch, ½ ounce variety. What you get with this? Little goby style paddle tail, little bait fish paddle tail there. Got the 3D fins all around, and then this crazy doohickey up here is your weed guard. So this should definitely work. Got a little green pumpkin, a little red flake to it for the color. Color is called Green Pumpkin Red Fleck. I love that. Just tells you exactly what it is. And it comes in a 2-pack. This 2-pack, by the way, was only $2. So basically $1 a bait, which is pretty freaking good. The Jackal Drift Fry was definitely not as good a deal. It was a couple bucks off, but $10 for that pack. Normally a very expensive bait, so it, you know, even on the bargain bin, it's not gonna be that cheap. And finally, we've got 2 swim baits that we're gonna try. One a harness style and one a line through style. Both look juicy as heck. So we've got the Spro Megalojohn in the 6-inch. Look at that thing. I believe I got a pretty killer deal on that. Blueback herring, didn't have any like crazy good colors, but this one should be just fine. And then we got the True Bass Texas Shad. Oh goodness. It's so hefty. It feels so weird. It's got a really weird feel to it because it's kind of that printed design. So you've already got those Berkeley power baits with a little print on them. It feels like that, and kind of a stout and stiff plastic there. Big heavy duty tail off the back. Line through goes through the front there, up the back, and then you want to actually take your treble and just hook it into the back right ahead of this dorsal fin there, I believe. So that is something we're going to give a shot, and it stinks. This reminds me of when I got the hangover. This reminds me when I got the 6th Sense hangover for the first time. So it's got that like spray paint kind of, whoa, oh God, it hits you after a second. My goodness. So we got that. And then we got the Megalodon. This one I'm definitely more excited for. I mean, all swim baits are fun. Oh, that one's actually got, smells like syrup almost. That's wild. Oh, this is a magnet. So the magnet actually goes into this little recessed port here, and it screw locks in, and they don't include that. Like that's not done for you. You have to do this step. I guess it gives you the option to do it if you want to. Man, screwing this in is kind of hard too. Wow, I'm guaranteed to lose this thing. Of course, you can always just hook the treble into the bait itself. That's not a big deal. Got it in there, so you add the magnet yourself, and then magnet holds onto the hook via that harness. Now, what I've noticed with a lot of these magnet style harness rigs is that they don't tend to hold onto that hook that well. So on a big old cast, when it hits the water, oftentimes it'll break out and then hopefully stick back in. But oftentimes you're kind of swimming like this. But ideally, the water as you swim it, this should kick back and just magnetize to your bait, look like that. So pretty cool design, a little bit girthier design versus the Mag Draft. So a nice way that you could change things up. So that Megalodon bait, that was $5, normally around $15. And then the True Bass, I don't know what these were standard price, but this came in at 10 bucks. It's a pretty hefty swim bait. So, you know, I think that kind of falls in line with standard swim bait pricing, so I'm good with it. I'm gonna round this out with a couple quick throw-ins. I've got 2 other goodies that don't really fit into any other unboxings, but wanted to show you guys. I'm gonna test this one out today. So we got the purple Cush bar coming from Kayak Cushion. I've never used one, but I'm excited to try it. So this is more like lumbar support in your seat. If you're an old dude with a crotchety back like me, this is gonna help you out a lot. So I'm excited to try that one out. And then I got sick of getting yelled at by folks. We do a lot of tackle storage videos, tackle storage buyer's guides. And one thing that kept coming up on that was this from Live Fishing. So this is their soft plastic storage, really anything storage, with a double heavy duty zipper on top, magnetic opening on the front, label on top, see-through lid on top as well. It comes to you like this, nice flat pack. That one is actually for Paul. And then this one I'm gonna be using today for soft plastics. But check this out. So it is a legit heavy duty zipper. Grab the handle, pull the zipper. I think that's gonna hold up for a while. You got this magnet lid here, so you can leave it unzipped, but still kind of close it up. And then they have this really rigid material that they use. So you actually slide a little piece of plastic in here, and that helps it hold up. And then you've got your divider cards, which are also pretty heavy duty. So this is something I'm definitely excited to try out. It is probably the most rugged feeling bag like this I've seen. I've used bags similar to this from 6th Sense, and I never liked them. And that's part of the reason that I avoided ever buying this one until I kept seeing the comments over and over and over again. Why haven't you used Live Fishing? Why haven't you tried Live Fishing? I'm trying Live Fishing now. So we're gonna try it, and we're gonna throw some plastics in it right now. I mean, I can tell you right off the bat why I would use this over the one from 6th Sense. And that is because it's tall enough. This is the right height. You want your bags to sit like that, not like they do in the 6th Sense bag where they all lay down. So this could be a good viable option. Also, again, that rugged outer material that's gonna be more water resistant, not getting waterlogged. This could be a good option over, say, like my Z-Man bait cube that I use. A little different. The bait cube is much bigger and is gonna hold a lot more plastics, but if you wanted, you know, 1 or 2 of these that were labeled and were kind of your go-to, you could use that as an alternative to like the Evolution Bass Sack even. So these are great, but again, your baits are all kind of just stacked up in there. These are definitely my go-to, my favorites. Also extremely heavy duty, extremely high quality, and very affordable. This is just a different variation of that. So give this a shot today. We'll see how it goes. I'll report back to you guys. You can always stay tuned for our reviews on this by checking out what we post over on Instagram, Facebook, and then we'll make sure to post more videos here, so make sure you're subscribed. I forgot the expensive bait. This is not a part of the bargain bin. This is the Spro KGB Lil Guy, and this provides you all of the awesomeness of a glide bait in a small package, which is ideal for where I live in the Midwest. Grab this in a nice standard color that should just catch straight up. This is the Platinum Shad. So you're getting premium glide bait quality in an itty bitty package. You got the brush tail, you've got the swivel for your trebles. It's gonna make it easier for you to land those fish. They're less likely to shake the lure because they can't get as much leverage when this swivels on them. They can't turn it and just pop it out of the corner of their mouth. No weight listed, but I think we're in the 1 ounce range, which means you could throw this on some of your heavier sticks, or even just a medium heavy. So you can get away with doing something different from like a big heavy glide bait setup. But getting that downsized package, sometimes glide bait straight up trigger bites, but sometimes those fish, they can be finicky and they're dodging your 7, 8, 9, 10 inch glide baits, and you got to throw in there like a 4 or 5 inch and you can get the job done. This might be that. So I'm really excited to test that out. Again, not a part of the bargain bin, but something I wanted to include in this unboxing because I picked it up in the same order. There's also a rod and a reel that we picked up, but they're not here yet, so I'll let you guys know. But we did pick up the new freshwater series of the Daiwa Tatula rods. They're just an all-around great option that kind of fall into that mid to high price point, so in the $180 range. Then we picked up another semi-budget spinning reel that comes in around 70 bucks. That's the Daiwa Pro Rex. So we're gonna test that out too. So stay tuned for those. Make sure you're subscribed, all that good stuff. I'm gonna take this stuff out on the water right now and see if I can't catch some fish and have a good time. So if you wanna see a fishing video out of this, you also should stay subscribed. Listen, I know it's fall. I know it's going into winter season. I know it's not fishing time for everybody, but we appreciate y'all for hanging with us and watching and staying along for the journey. So again, ring that notification bell, smash that like, all that good stuff, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Okay, bye.